Hello, welcome back. Part 2, putting on a little thriller dance for you. You can see I got some new armor while we were out, and so it gives me a little bit better bonuses than before. Also, I'm a slightly higher level because I was out and killing things. I haven't done very many quests offline, but I did do a few, picked up a couple extra ones. I'm currently sporting ranger skills, but I probably will pick up elementalist as my actual second profession, so I still have that one quest line left to do, so we'll head out into Wizard's Folly to pick those up and finish things off, and then I will, either this part or next part, actually convince one of my guild members to party up with me. We'll do a couple of these 2-people quests, and then we will move on to post and really start digging into the story. But first, we're going to go ahead, do this Power of Blood quest. So we'll be hanging around in the catacombs. My inventory is looking still pretty full, but I'm hoping I'll be able to trade these with whoever I party with, and they'll be able to use that to update their armor. Also, since it's real close to Thanksgiving, the ArenaNet team is dropping hard apple cider and slices of pumpkin pie. The pie is actually useful for when you're out and fighting. The hard apple cider I think I'm going to drink now as a kind of liquid courage when I'm about to enter the catacombs. Alright, so my screen's just a little fuzzy. And without further ado, let's be off. One of the first things you'll probably notice is I now have a pet. That's actually what this skill does. So I named him Moo because he's a cat. I thought it made sense. I've also played around with my attribute list a little bit. I'll pull it up here so you can see it. Balanced out a couple things. It's very strange for me to not put points into curses because I usually play a curses build necro. But I'm going to try and do Minion Master this time, just to shake things up a little bit. I'm also going to see if I can find... There's a warrior boss that lives down here somewhere, and I think it's at the end of this quest line. So we'll show you kind of what taking on a boss looks like, although it may be a little underrepresented, because I don't remember exactly what level he is, and generally fighting bosses are tougher, higher level than you are. Can get a little off balance in pre. That shiny light means my pet just leveled up, so good for him, he's doing some damage. So every time this pops up as your view is obstructed, it means that I'm trying to target the enemy, but I haven't actually run around to a point where I can see him yet, which just wastes my attack. The skills will not let you activate, which is kind of nice because you can't waste your skill on an enemy you can't target, but at the same time, it pops up that annoying text all the time. I should just learn and actually get a line of sight before I try to cast things, but obviously, I don't really pay that much attention. Or it'll click at you until you don't have enough energy. I also don't pay enough attention to that. I'm sure that will get me murdered once we move up to post. There will probably be a lot of deaths that could easily have been avoided if I just paid a little bit more attention. Hopefully, once we get into the actual missions where dying means you have to redo the entire story, I will actually pay enough attention where I won't needlessly die over and over again. Also, if that is the case, and it gets really annoying and tedious, I will probably cut some of that out and just leave a best of death moments whatever compilation, and then include the successful run, so you don't end up with a video that's 10 hours long where I only complete 1 or 2 missions. I think the first video was about an hour long. That seemed to be a good time, so we'll probably make this one between a half an hour to 1 hour. And I am hoping to get them out about once a week. So we'll see how that goes. Of course, Thanksgiving is a couple of days away yet at the time of this recording, but it may be after by the time I actually post it. We'll see. And so I could end up making some extra videos then, since I will not be at work because we have vacation. And alternatively, I could be making even fewer videos because I will actually be out and visiting people for Thanksgiving. But plans are still kind of in the air even at this point, so we'll take what we can get. Same kind of deal around the Christmas and New Year's holidays. If you have any especially exciting plans for Thanksgiving, you should leave me a comment and tell me how much better it is than whatever it is that I'm going to do or have done. And I will be sure to read them and pretend to be very jealous. I could try to run past all of these guys and not fight them, but they chase you for a really long time, and there's really no point in not fighting them because I'm not on any kind of a timeline, and they're just good experience. I'm still close enough level to them that I'm getting some XP, so there's really not a reason to not kill them. I've already forgotten to use my bone horrors to actually fight the enemies. Now that we're almost out of the area with corpse-leaving creatures, I've remembered, so we'll see how that goes. Most undead don't leave corpses, so you can't reanimate them. Kind of nice in that other enemies can't use them, but very annoying for a minion master because there's nothing to make minions out of. Okay, here's a new enemy. Here we go. Raging Cadavers. These guys are way more aggressive than their Restless Corpse kind of compatriots. They are also higher level, so it's nicer to attack them and kill them as early as possible, or as low level as you can handle them, because you will get XP for them even after you are too high level to get XP for the Restless Corpses, because I believe, yeah, they're level 1. So they might still give me, I can't remember if it's within 5 levels. We'll see, just a second. Okay, plus 16, so yes. But once I'm another level up, then I won't get any. And see, these guys are kind of kicking my butt. So we'll see about actually killing them. And if I had been smarter, I would have animated a bone horror. We're going to actually take use of running for cover so that our view will be obstructed, but theirs will be too, so they won't be able to hit me. Let's not run into these guys behind here. That would be very, very bad. Okay. Get some minions. A little bit further on, once we get through post a little bit, I'll be able to have multiple minion skills, so I can have some different types. There will be some that will do ranged. These little guys are kind of the main meat shields, so they're the ones who are quickest, easiest, cheapest to kind of pump out and throw at the enemy so they attack your little minions instead of you, because you just really don't want to die. If you do die and you have minions, your minions will turn on your allies. So if I were to die, my minion would start attacking my pet. And I've already forgotten what my quest told me to do. Destroy blood fanatics. Okay. I didn't actually look at where we were gonna go. I just know that the boss is down this way, so we'll go there first. Alright. Oh. So we'll have to do some backtracking, but that's okay. Like I said, we're just kind of wandering around, getting the last of our quests done, eventually leveling up a little bit. It'll be most comfortable to be at least a level 7. I'm thinking we'll probably be an 8 or maybe even a 9 before we leave pre, which will make the first couple of missions in post much, much easier. We will have to be running around with henchmen, which are AI characters that will be in our party, because I do not have any heroes. That is something you pick up in Nightfall, which is the 3rd campaign piece. And obviously this character's only been in Prophecies, so no heroes for me. And I have not paid to turn any of my other characters into heroes. So I don't really know how much of that works because I stopped playing before they released that and haven't come back to really check it out or spend money on it yet. If I really start getting my butt kicked, then I may look into it, but I'm going to try to just do most of the missions with a partner. Are there any? No. So there's no corpses nearby. I don't think I've ever been so sad to not be surrounded by dead things. Or specifically not the correct dead things. I've never longed for a corpse. If you do hear any random noises in the background, my house is kind of full of cats. My husband and I have adopted many cats from animal shelters, and they're just being very, very rambunctious today, so I apologize if there's a great crash in the middle at some point. I might be smart enough to edit that out, or I may just forget. Okay, there we go. That's this whole area. There is actually an NPC right here. He's another necromancer trainer, and I had totally forgotten about him, but while I was running around trying to collect some things from some of my armor that I have now, I ran into him, so I went ahead and picked up his skill because it was right there. And what that did is it gave me access to this soul barbs skill, and I had to kill some shadow fiends, which even in pre are kind of tough because they're a higher level than you, to the point where if you have more than one of them on your tail, you just are in trouble. Whoa, thanks camera. So I did a lot of backtracking and hiding around corners because I was not really leveled up enough to take them on by myself. And I did not have my pet at that point. Whoops, and my inventory is already full. So let's real quick figure out what we don't need anymore. Oh, I thought I saw another blue thing. Okay, well, this might be extra interesting then. See how oblivious I can be. Pick that up. There we go. Alright. Let's go, kitty. And I did pick up a, it's called a Melandru Stalker, but it's basically this lioness cat, because there was a quest to do so. You could also tame a strider, or it's a moa bird in every other part of this world. Or you could try to get a black bear or a warthog. I think that's it. You cannot tame the moss spiders, which you may have seen during part 1 and may see again later on because they are technically not tameable creatures. They are. There's some other bizarre characteristic, and when you select them, they actually are a ranger. So they're a special kind of NPC. The only way you can get a moss spider in post is by trading with one of the collectible NPCs or collector NPCs to get a moss spider egg, and then specifically you can hatch it. Okay, so this is, you can see right here, this, whoops, is the name of the boss. So he's a higher level, he's going to be difficult. We don't want to just run in there and target him blindly. So I'm going to try to pull some of these guys out here. So without actually selecting attack, so that my cat does not run in, it will run in here. If I actually double click on this guy or hit the space bar and do just a regular staff attack like what I'm doing right now with no skills, then my minions, my pet, any of my little kind of NPC party members would run forward and just start attacking him. I'm sorry about the bad camera, guys. Since I don't want them to do that and trigger the boss's aggro range, I'm going to just use the skills to kind of piss them off a little bit and get them to run towards me. The better technique for doing that is generally if you equip a longbow, you can shoot them from far enough away. But if you know that it's safe enough, you can just use your ranged skill. Okay, so he's glowing kind of yellowy orange, gold, depending on what you feel like labeling it. That means he's a warrior boss. And every boss has a specific profession. They will use skills from that profession. Most bosses also have elite skills. He's in pre. I don't think he has any, and even if he did, yeah, he's only level 5. Even if he did, there's no way I would be able to pick it up. But later on, you will have some signets called Signets of Capture, and you will be able to steal his elite skill once he's dead. Another reason you want him dead, because they always leave corpses. You can... I take it back. I have been shown that is incorrect. Okay. Almost all bosses leave corpses, and you can go up, interact with their corpse, learn their elite skill, use them for minion fodder, whatever you feel like. None of these things look especially exciting. I was really hoping for a blue item. They sell for more money. Alright. So you can't really go any further this way. So we're gonna go back. And you probably saw this. When you kill a boss, you automatically get a +2 to your morale boost, which is really great. If I had death penalty, this would negate 2% of it. I believe every time you die, you get 15% death penalty. So you'd have to kill quite a few. But right now, since I don't have death penalty, I actually just get little buffs to my health and energy, which is nice. There's also some buffs and things that can increase your morale. The Slices of Pumpkin Pie is an example of different kinds of buffs. This one doesn't specifically increase my morale boost, but it increases my attack speed and reduces my skill activation time. There are other consumables, so like one-time use items, that may increase your morale boost. And I'll be able to show you, again, a bunch of this stuff once we move up to post, because I will have access to my storage, and I have hoarded a lot of things during my years of playing before this as my main character. And I have 8 or 9 tabs in my storage, and most of them are full of bits and bobs and random things. Lots of miniatures, which I can't show you right now because I don't have any. I'm not old enough. My character's... How old is she now? Oh, she's played for 17 minutes now. She is 5 hours old. So you have to be 1 year old before you just earn a mini on your own. So I got a few hours to go. at this point I've explained most of the mechanics and things in the game that we've seen so far. So I'll probably just start talking about random stuff that's going on in the world if I can figure out where I need to be going. There we go. And interrupt myself when we get to something new or exciting, interesting that's going on in the game. Hopefully it will be relevant and useful to you, and if not, then, well, you can leave me a comment about it and give me a suggestion for something better next time. But yes, since Thanksgiving is coming up, normally my husband and I would actually go and visit family or hang out with friends. Especially this year, we would love to do that because we were out of the country for a while, so we didn't get to see people. But my best friend's sister's actually getting married, so he won't be here, and it's kind of sad. It's one of the first times that we haven't had an opportunity to kind of hang out over Thanksgiving or Christmas, but he's got family obligations, as do we all. So, since we spent all of our vacation days on this trip, we'll just be hanging out at home, which is Wisconsin for us, so lots of snow, very exciting. I have no idea if you've ever even experienced snow before. Actually, I enjoy it, but I don't enjoy other people driving in it, because for some reason, a little bit of rain or a little bit of snow makes most people go absolutely insane when they are behind the wheel. I don't know what it is. It's like they just lose their minds. They've forgotten everything. So, every year at the first and second snowfall, I just plan an extra half an hour, 40 minutes to whatever trip it is I'm doing, because I know it's just going to be backed up by people who don't know how to handle driving in snow. I grew up in this area, so I am very used to snow, and I'm very used to heavy amounts of snow. I was actually very sad when we did not get snow days as a child for days off from grade school. When I went to high school, I was actually at a boarding school, so they did not have snow days because most of us lived there, and I just thought that was the saddest thing ever. At one point, we wanted to play a prank on a bunch of our teachers to just shovel snow into the dorm rooms and say that we had gotten snowed in. But we really didn't want to have to clean it all up when it melted, and I'm sure we would have had to. So we ended up not doing it. It was very tempting, though. I am excited, though, that I was able to adjust my work schedule a little bit so I can get home a little bit outside of normal hours so I don't have to drive with all of the heavy traffic every day, which is also great because it means I'm home that much sooner and can start working on this. For the most part, I tend to do somewhere between 20 minutes and a couple of hours of gaming in the evening. Yes, finally, a blue item. Let's throw out... I feel like this axe has just been haunting me. This 3 to 5 damage axe. It's really crappy, but I don't pay enough attention to actually know if I'm picking up the same one over and over again, or if people just keep dropping it. Maybe they're hinting I need to just carry it. It has some super secret special power. It doesn't really, or it would be gold. But still, could help. What was I talking about? Oh, yes, driving home early. So, it's nice because it still feels kind of like I have some extra time in the evening, especially since it's so dark so early now. It just feels like the day is over at about 6 p.m. It's terrible. So, getting home a little bit earlier, or getting to drive home during twilight instead of when it's pitch black outside, lends itself to having it more like there's still several hours left in the day. And hopefully I will be able to have enough time to put things together and not just have a bunch of failed attempts at missions. So I will actually be able to stick to my once a week, or maybe twice a week. It'll be even better if I can do twice a week and I get some people who would like to see it twice a week as opposed to once a week. I know sometimes it can be easier to keep track of when things come out if it's only once a week. Although, I'm always excited when I get extra bonuses, so maybe I'll say once a week and then sometimes put 2 out a week and it'll just be a surprise. And here's another 3 to 5 damage. Just get rid of it. Alright. So, I'm debating whether I want to hold on to this common crafting material. On the one hand, it's crafting material. It's very useful. On the other hand, there's not really that much of it. It takes up a lot of space. I can't use it until after I get to post. So, it's worth money. And while I don't really need to spend it, it's a lot easier to just carry some gold than it is to have it take up a slot in your very limited inventory. But it also stacks, so especially now while I'm in the catacombs, I'm going to be getting a lot of bones, 1 or 2 at a time, and it only takes up 1 space in my inventory. So I could sell it, but it's going to be worth more money if I hold on to it and just let it accumulate a bit, versus selling it, getting the empty space, and then picking up some little weapon that's worth, 7, or this one's worth 2. Great. Really exciting. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but we did actually kill one of those blood fanatics, so we are officially on the right track now. Here goes another one, just kind of skittering across my path. I assume that's kind of the sound they would make, especially if they're skeletal. They'd make some sort of clickety, creepy, hollow noise. Oh, I'm getting messaged. So, let's respond to him. Maybe getting a shout out. It would be a little awkward if I was supposed to know this person in real life. I've absolutely done that before as well, where someone will have created a new character or gotten a new account and they troll me. They pretend that I should know who they are, or they pretend they are just meeting me for the first time, and then they'll mention something about, having done a different mission with me before, or sometimes it was one of my college buddies, just absolutely trolling the shit out of me. I actually ended up getting a secondary account specifically so that I could forward the trolling on some of my other friends, including my husband, although he wasn't my husband at the time, but that was one of the ways that we really got to hang out and spend some time together was online, because we are both very, very heavy gamer geeks. We did actually go to the same school, though, so we did see each other in person. Okay. We've completed it. The Power of Blood. I know the prize Moa bird, if I could read, is also in the catacombs. So, we'll stay down here, do this one as well. Oh! Just thought of this because I saw there's actual plant life in here. The red iris flowers that we've been sort of picking up, there's 2 of them. If I get 50, I can actually replace my scar pattern, my headpiece for my armor. You didn't used to be able to do that, but they later added a collector in pre specifically so that you could trade in some of these collection items for presents, and he would also take 50 of the red iris flowers at any time to update your headpiece so that it matched your other secondary. So this has armor plus 7. All the old original pieces had armor plus 5. So if I actually pick up 50 red iris flowers while I'm still in pre, I will go do that. I'm not going to stay in pre specifically for that. It is completely not worth the effort and the time it would take, because only somewhere between 2 to 5 flowers will be generated in any specific map area. Sometimes a little more depending on which area you're in. The Lakeside County has more than in Wizard's Folly, where it's all snowy all the time, for example. But the map areas are generally too big to really do effective farming. Okay. Lost my way and my mind a little bit. Alternatively, I could pull up my Perma-Pre, who I believe I mentioned is not actually level 20 yet, but someday, perhaps. But she's holding on to a bunch of things just so I can log in and trade for presents. So I may just log in and pull some of her things from her inventory over to Kiani Shadow Knives' inventory. I would have to do that with another human player. So it either needs to be you managing a second account on another computer, or having someone that you know and trust won't steal your items while you are logging in as different people. So I may ask one of my guild members to do that. Okay. And we get to do a lot of backtracking. You can tell I really planned this all out step by step beforehand. Sat down, knew exactly what I was going to say, where I was going to go. No. I don't think that would be as exciting. This is just sit down and load it up and on the fly. Let's do this. So if it ends up being very horrible, well, I was going to apologize, but I don't think I'm really that sorry, because if you're still here, you're probably going to watch it anyway. At least I would hope so. And if not, then, you know, there's always next time. Okay, getting close. This was a very difficult quest for me to find the first couple of times that I played in Pre. For some reason, I did not realize you could actually go through this intersection in both ways. So I spent a lot of time running back and forth here and never actually figuring out that you could turn. I don't know what was so difficult about it, but when I finally made it here, I was so excited. Oh, I think the Moa might be dead. Hey, here's some more Crypt Fiends. This is what I was telling you about before in the tunnels. Yeah, if you have multiple of them, it sucks. Although, I've at least gained a couple levels since then, so it sucks a little less. And the morale boost, that helps too. My inventory's still full, you guys. Okay, we've made it in far enough to notice that it is well and truly dead. This corpse we can actually use, although there's no enemies around, but, you know, just in case. So we can either just run all the way back, or we could actually map back. Speaking of mapping, I'm going to close this for a minute. I actually ran around and popped the rest of these cities, or outposts, so we can fast travel to more places now. This area will look very familiar to you because we will be in this same sort of section of Ascalon once we move up to Post. You don't need to bother memorizing the pathways because the terrain will change, but Fort Rannick is actually the name of the second mission of the game, so we will be able to visit those places. Ashford Abbey is there, although I believe it's called a different name. I don't think Foible's Fair survives. I know. Spoilers. It's okay. Oh, we were going to actually travel. So we'll just run back, or map back to Ashford Abbey. Empty our inventory. Very important. And then drop off these quests. Oh, could compare that with what I'm using. 4 to 6. 6%. Okay. I have this here. I may switch over to using a one-handed weapon and a focus, but at the time I didn't have any one-handed weapons, so I just threw this in here as kind of a just in case. It doesn't take up an inventory space, so there's not really any harm in that. Okay, we'll do this one first. Pitney's nice and close. We've actually chatted with him before about a couple of other quests, so you may remember him. I still have not gone and chased all of the prize-winning hogs into their pen, because I think it's actually only 25 gold that you get for doing that, which, honestly, if you had that many prize-winning hogs that had escaped, it would cost you more than 25 gold to replace them all. So, cheap ass Farmer Dirk, what's wrong with you? Oh, the trip I was mentioning. This was the very first time I'd actually been able to go on such a trip, so I'm very, very excited about that. We went to Japan and New Zealand. It was part of my sort of 5-year anniversary present for staying at the company where I worked for 5 years, so that was nice. It was an awesome experience. I can't recommend enough that if you have the opportunity to go travel, because it's just one of the most amazing experiences of my life, and it will be incredible. And no matter what you decide to go do or where you decide to go, it's just an amazing experience. We saw something new every day. We stayed in a lot of the cities while we were in Japan, and then kind of sprawled out a little more, did some more country-y type things while we were in New Zealand. We got to go see Hobbiton, which every single person on my team at work asked me about and made sure that we were going to go see. It was very cool. My favorite place of all was probably Tokyo. Like I said, I'd never been there before, and it was so exciting. It's very, very tourist friendly. There are English maps to kind of help you figure out how to get around. I don't speak very much Japanese, although I am currently learning it. But not always enough time to study that and go to work every day and do this. So kind of have to balance it out. Saw a lot of different temples and shrines, and we got to stay right by Lake Biwa, which, if you know anything about the geography over there, is, I know, the biggest lake in Japan. It is one of the biggest lakes just in general, I believe. Although geography was not my strongest suit in school, so that may be a total lie. But either way, it was very pretty. We went, and it was early autumn or mid-autumn there, so it was still nice, and sometimes even a little hot. And then it was nice because by the time we moved to New Zealand, or traveled to New Zealand, it was just coming up on the turn of the season, and so we got to experience spring all over again. Very, very gorgeous. Lots of flowers. Very, very pollinated air. So that was not so nice for our sinuses, but you deal. Made it all the way to the very last day and then got very sunburned because we were on the beach and didn't think about it because we had spent so much time in kind of cloudy, overcast sky. And then that last day was just so nice and warm, and didn't really think about it until it was far too late. So the plane ride back was a little uncomfortable because I had a very, very burned neck and shoulders, but you know, I survived. It wasn't terrible. It helped that I slept on a lot of the plane ride, so I didn't really have to put up with it that much. There were also a lot of opportunities that I saw for traveling students, or just in general if you wanted to stay at hostels. They were very accommodating, and it would be very, very easy to plan a trip that spent little to no money on actual accommodations and where you were staying the night, which is great because then you have more money and opportunity to spend it on other things or to see other things. And most of the sites that we went to while we were in Japan actually didn't cost money to see, so there are a lot of things to do for little to no cost, which is so great. And there's so much to take in, especially if you've never been to that country before. I absolutely recommend getting out, touring around somewhere. Or even if you can't afford going overseas or anything, just go to you know, a city in your country that you've never been to before. I know the very first time I went to Chicago and New York City, for example. Those were awesome experiences, and that didn't take several hours of plane rides either. So that was also great. Okay, so we just turned that back in. Whoops. So I don't have any more here. We'll probably go over... Oh, we're real close to Bandit Raid. We'll go ahead and do Bandit Raid. Let's kill us some bandits. Recover the strong box and return it to somebody. Oh, we don't know that we have to return it. Oh, we do. Okay. It's like I've played it before and didn't read. Then what we'll probably do is we'll go up, we'll get our secondary profession, we'll lock that down, and we'll probably be done for this segment. And then I'll send a message to one of my guild members and see if they're willing to jump on and finish out the rest of Pre and then really get moving. If you have played this before, or if you haven't but you've read the wiki or anything about that, and you have a specific mission or quest that, I suppose it would be a quest, something that you particularly want to see, let me know and I'll make sure to record it. I will record every mission, at least a clean or a successful playthrough. It may not be very clean. But I'm not going to record every single optional quest because there are just way too many. That I'll just keep it to whatever I am picking up along the way to the missions, or if I need to stop and specifically do some leveling up, or if there are some that are a primary quest or particularly heavy on the story, then I will include those. But like I said, I'm not going to include every single one. But if you have one, or know of one, that either gave you trouble and you want to see how to do it, or if you just are interested in it, or if you think that it would be terrible and you want to watch me fail a bunch, then you can let me know, and I will make sure to film it. And hopefully succeed or fail, whichever it is that you're wanting to do. Or maybe I'll do the opposite just to spite you. Because I heard that's kind of what you're supposed to do with your audience, right? Is just completely piss them off. Well, at least from the videos that I watch, they definitely don't care. Okay, it's probably a lie. They mildly care. Alright. Let's go bandits. This will also be nicer because we have a pet, so he can distract some of the guys. And then once we kill some guys, I will be able to make some minions and just completely overwhelm them. I will probably be very, very careless. Oh well. I'm prepared for that eventuality. I'm very much looking forward to getting some better weapons so that my skills either cost less energy or just on the whole cast more quickly, because some of these just take so long. And while I'm in this casting stance, I can't attack. I can absolutely take damage, so you don't want to start casting something if you're gonna die. Or if you think you're going to die. I'll actually pop open my little minion page here so that I can see how many I have, although I could just look here. Since I can't heal them up, maybe I won't worry about it. Once you're able to heal them, it becomes a little bit more useful because you can very, very easily see their health bar as opposed to trying to just kind of hover over them with the mouse and getting every single person over there. Whoops. So let's attack you. I'm also now being distracted. Our kitten, our little guy, his name is Hades, and he is trying to steal my headset. I have not put any funny cat videos up. I'm not sure whether I will or not. Seems like the internet is already pretty bombarded with that. On the other hand, it's cat videos. It's hard to go wrong. Okay, strongbox. This quest is actually really good for farming for experience points for your permaprees for a while, because it'll always generate the same number of enemies, and they're always a decently higher level than, for example, all these level 0 worms. So it's a good way of getting a bunch of XP without having to run very far, because you can just pop out of this city right here. It's at Ashford Abbey. Blah, blah, blah. My goodness. I think my tongue is broken. But you can just pop out of that city and just run over there, and then when you've finished it, just don't pick up the strongbox. And then you can go back into the city. You'll technically fail the quest, and it'll reset once you go back to your town. And then you can just go back out and say, oh, I'm going to try again. Oops, I forgot the strongbox again. And the NPCs never get mad at you. Okay. If we can get all the way over to Devona, perhaps we can drop this off. Or maybe I'll keep it and I'll figure out how to train people to be in a marching band. There we go. Oh, she has something else for me. I don't know which quest that's a reward for. What else did we finish here? Oh. No? Oh, well, I feel foolish. She's trying to give me a quest reward, and I don't have any space for that, so we'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. Okay. There we go. That's better. None of that ever happened. Spend attribute points. We'll just focus on the good things. Okay. Soul reaping. Now I'll get even more energy when things die. So, I think what I've learned about myself in this part is that I have never been so excited to have fleshy corpses, and I really like it when things die. I'm not exactly sure what that says about me. But it's probably fine. Gonna quick go back in here, drop off my inventory stuff again, and then map over to Foible's Fair and pick up our elementalist skills. It's not as good as the one we have. This is kind of interesting because it's a sword that helps you while you're casting, which generally you don't do. So this would be very cool, especially for someone who was maybe a necro warrior, or a warrior something or other, mesmer maybe. But I'm not gonna do that. This is kind of tempting because you get armor versus char, and we're gonna be fighting a lot of char. But hopefully I won't be taking direct hits because I'll have minions to do that for me. So I'll go ahead and sell it. I'm not really getting any extra dust, so I'm going to sell that too, just to free up the space. The bones I'll keep. Going to go ahead and drink this. So now my screen's a little bit woozy because I've been drinking. I should just go get a drink. now. I think I even have some hard apple cider. Ooh. Maybe next time. Don't want to have to stop in the middle of it. That would just ruin the experience. So this stays that way for several minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and map over here. So we can do the Wayward Wizard. And unfortunately, this guy is actually over here. So I have to run all the way through Wizard's Folly, which means I have to run around like this. Or from Barradin Estate, I run down and through to this gate and then over here. And I'm going to go through Wizard's Folly because the Elementalist Trainer is up here. So we'll kind of be able to get them at the same time. And at that point, we'll have to say goodbye to Moo. Although, when I do eventually pick up Ranger as a secondary again, once we ascend, then he will be back. There are lots and lots of different types of creatures you can tame for pets, and what's great is you can tame them, you can level them up to level 20, so they will eventually hit max level, just like you, and then you can turn them over to a trainer, so they will show up in your menagerie instead, and that frees up your pet slot so you can then go train a new type of creature, and eventually you'll be able to train one of every single type. So it was pretty cool to run around and see all the different creatures that they had put into the game. There are some that you can only get in very specific ways. The Rainbow Phoenix is kind of tricky. Well, it's not really that tricky. You have to know that it's coming up because it's at the very end of the Factions campaign, which is the second one. And you have to have this skill on and not have a current pet when you beat that mission, because once you beat it, you go into this little staging area, and the only time that you can get the Rainbow Phoenix is in that staging area, so you have to know that you need a charm animal skill on you. Okay. Here's the Elementalist. So we're going to perform an experiment with some ice beasts. Teach me Elementalist skills. I'm actually not... we'll put that on. Energy every time you... Whoops. Every time you cast a spell. Alright, so we're just getting kind of beat up a little bit, so have some fire. These area of effect spells are just wonderful for guys like this. And that's something that the Necro is kind of lacking at the moment. Although the Deathly Swarm isn't too bad, because it at least pops around to multiple people. These guys don't leave corpses either, so no minions for me. But at least I knew that beforehand. I didn't look totally foolish like with the boss. That didn't happen. There we go. Can use this fire skill again. They do take more damage or less damage depending on the type of weapon you're using. For example, mine deals chaos damage. So if you're fighting a creature that is more susceptible to chaos damage, you will do extra damage. These guys were particularly susceptible to fire. So using the correct element against a certain enemy is very useful. Okay, I'm actually going to click the button. I'm ready. I have a second profession. Now I'm an NE. Okay. Now we just have to go pick up the Wayward Wizard, and at some point we need to go back to Foible's Fair because the second Elementalist Trainer is in that town. So we can pick up a couple more skills. If you do miss some skills that are available in pre, you can pick them up in post. There is a quest that you can pick up, and it will give you all of the skills that you missed that you could pick up. So I can get any Necro or Elementalist skill that I've missed. It won't give you skills for a profession you can't use. And the skills that I picked up while I was doing those other secondary professions, like the monk and the mesmer and whatnot, um, when you do eventually change your secondary, then you will have those in their appropriate attribute groups. So you don't have to relearn them. Keep getting hexed. I'm just remembering all of these skills as a curse-built necromancer that you can use. But none of those are available in pre, and if I'm going as a minion master, a death magic build, I'm not going to have access to most of them anyway because I won't have any points in curses. So things like this one, which is a very, very good skill if used correctly, does just piddly little damage when you don't have anything in curses for it. They're being very generous with the stackable or collectible items so far. Oh, let's open this and not be able to carry anything. Oh, this does fire damage. We'll put that on for now. I know. The other thing is blue. Has extra bonuses. That's okay. But that's one thing you have to watch out for. This is called a holy staff, so you would think that it would be particularly useful to monks. But if it does fire damage, it doesn't actually matter. You really want a holy staff that does holy damage if you're looking for one for a monk. Okay. What do we want to throw away now? Oh, this for sure. There we go. Something else that I'm sure I will do off screen is I will get these extra bags and the runes to expand them so I have some more inventory space. I don't even think it's a quest. I think it's just going and picking up the items. So I'm not gonna worry about it. Oh, I don't have any cider? Oh, I drank it all. Well, now what? Still... Oh, halves casting time of water magic spells, so that's good for an elementalist, but I don't have any water magic spells currently. Improved sale value. Well, that sucks. +5, reduces dazed. I'm not really gonna get dazed, although that is worth a little more money. Okay, money wins. This fire staff is not exciting. We'll just continue. Alright, lead a couple of these guys here. Come on. There we go. And fire! So the ice guys are getting more heavily damaged than the stone? Yeah, hulking stone elemental even. So he's also a higher level. Oh man. Okay, well, we'll drink that. Why not? Yeah, this is probably the most frustrating area in Pre, especially if you want to be focusing on minions. Well, as much as you can focus in Pre. Because all of these guys just leave no corpses, so can't really use that. I'm really, really excited to move up to post. So I keep focusing and getting distracted by actually playing. It's just horrible. But it's been a very long time since I've actually played through this campaign, and it's been an extremely long time since I've played through it not on hard mode. I will also not record it in normal mode and hard mode. That seems a little too insane, even for me. But it'll be very cool to play a low-level character and drag them all the way up to level 20 again, so... Oh yeah, my pet leveled up. Oh, here. This is the kind of pet and hero management. So you can click this little button here and then tell them, hey, I want you to be aggressive, so I will lock a target for him, and he'll go and just attack. Or in guard position, he'll wait until I actually start attacking someone, and then he will use that as his target. Or in heal mode, he's passive, and he will not attack even if he gets attacked. I generally leave mine on guard. I do not try to level them up to be dire pets. They do have different evolutions that determine their damage output versus their overall health level. If they do a bunch of damage and don't die very much, then they will be dire pets. And if they conversely die a lot or don't do very much damage, then they will level up as hardy or playful pets. You don't really see that unless you don't have them named something custom anyway. So, but either way, it's more just about getting a little extra damage in and hopefully them taking the initial attack off from you, more so than actually depending on them to specifically kill an enemy. But you can see he's got the same amount of health that I do, and doesn't have any skills, so he doesn't have any energy. But he does absolutely get hexed by things, and so I can see what he's hexed by, and I can target him to break hexes or to heal him if I had any such skills. I will eventually. Okay, let's get out from under the tree. This is kind of obnoxious. There we go. But I'll go ahead and close that because he can stay on the guard mode for now. And we'll fight our way through all of these guys. And I didn't wait for my health to recharge. So I'm probably gonna die right here. Oh, that was close. Yep. Well, that was the thing. So this is rezzing again. Didn't I die in part 1 as well? There. The goal is to only die once per part. We'll see how that works out. Well, I have been recording for a while, so maybe that's just the end. Say, death is just the end of me. We may go back to town and pick up our next set of elemental skills and then call it a night. It is actually pretty late now, so that may have to be anywhere. I'm not going to be able to get up in the morning and go to work. There we go. Pick this up. Lightning Javelin. Far more useful than that. Inflicts blindness. Won't worry about that so much. Okay. Oh, I wonder, did that guy ever message us back? My tongue is broken. I can't speak at all. I've been playing for an hour. I guess not. Okay. Just wanted to say hi then. That's cool. In Guild Wars 2, you can actually send messages, and you have a little letters activity, so you can read the notes and you can send them to people who are offline. You can't really do that here. You just have to catch them when they're online and then send them a private message. But if you do happen to catch me online and want to send me something, you can. If I see it, I'll respond. If you're a jerk, I may block you, so don't be a jerk. No one likes jerks. Alright. Now we have some more inventory space. Hopefully, one of my guildies will be able to play next time. We'll finish off these last couple of quests. We'll go across the wall and then push onward into post. So I look forward to that. I look forward to finishing up in pre. I look forward to getting some more dye so we can color our armor, because as much as this kind of silvery stuff is cool, actual color is more cool. And I look forward to fixing my cape. So lots of things to look forward to, and you know, obviously the story as well, but psh, minor details. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned some things. Hope you didn't get too bored, and I hope you have a very happy Thanksgiving. So I'll talk to you later.